Welcome back. In this video, you will work through 25 tricky BCBA practice questions on reinforcement, punishment, and extinction. These are original practice scenarios, not official BACB exam items or recalled content. The goal is to train one reliable move. Function first, label second. Then check the data and procedural integrity. Do not just name the term. Find the contingency that controls the behavior. For every question, pause before the reveal. Identify the target response, decide what changed after that response, and then ask whether the future rate of that behavior increased or decreased. We will start with 14 reinforcement questions, move to 6 punishment questions, and finish with 5 extinction and relapse questions. Defend each answer in one sentence. Something was added or removed, and the behavior increased or decreased. Question 1. During art, the teacher says, "Nice staying seated," immediately after Mira remains seated for 3 minutes. Across the next 5 sessions, Mira's seated behavior increases. Which contingency is best demonstrated? A. Positive reinforcement. B. Positive punishment. C. Negative reinforcement. Or D. Negative punishment. Pause here and choose your answer before moving on. The correct answer is A. Positive reinforcement. Praise was added immediately after staying seated, and seated behavior increased across sessions. That is positive reinforcement. Notice that "nice job" is not automatically a reinforcer just because it sounds rewarding. The function is confirmed by the future increase in the target behavior. Without that increase, it is simply a stimulus delivered after the response. Question 2. When worksheets are presented, Ethan screams. Staff remove the worksheet for 2 minutes. Over several sessions, screaming becomes more likely when work is presented. What is the best analysis of the contingency for screaming? A. Positive reinforcement of screaming. B. Negative reinforcement of screaming. C. Negative punishment of screaming. Or D. Escape extinction. Pause and commit to one answer. The correct answer is B. Negative reinforcement of screaming. The worksheet is removed after screaming, and screening becomes more likely in the future. Removal plus an increase in the target response equals negative reinforcement. The common trap is to hear escape and pick negative punishment. Lock onto whose behavior is changing. The target behavior here is screaming, not task completion. Question 3. In an MSWO preference assessment, a learner repeatedly selects stickers. During subsequent teaching, access to stickers is delivered after correct responses, but correct responding does not increase relative to baseline. What is the most defensible conclusion? A. Stickers are confirmed reinforcers because they were selected. B. Stickers are preferred, but their reinforcing effect was not demonstrated in this arrangement. C. The MSWO was invalid because stickers were selected. Or D. Stickers are generalized conditioned reinforcers. Pause here before the answer. The correct answer is B. Repeated selection shows preference, but preference is not the same as reinforcement. Because contingent access to stickers did not increase correct responding relative to baseline, their reinforcing effect was not demonstrated in this arrangement. An MSWO can identify likely reinforcers to test. It does not, by itself, confirm that an item will strengthen the target response. Question 4. A learner hums at a similar rate when alone and when adults are present. No observable social consequence follows humming, and the learner appears to contact sensory stimulation produced by humming. Which is the best hypothesis? A. Socially mediated positive reinforcement. B. Automatic positive reinforcement. C. Automatic negative reinforcement. Or D. Respondent conditioning. Pause and select the best answer. The correct answer is B. Automatic positive reinforcement. Humming occurs without an observable social consequence, and the response itself appears to produce sensory stimulation. That is the key functional clue. Do not choose this answer simply because adults are not responding. The stronger evidence is that the behavior produces its own consequence directly. Question 5. A token can be exchanged for snacks, art materials, computer time, or a choice of activity. The token has been paired with these backup reinforcers and increases task completion when delivered contingently. How should the token be classified? A. Unconditioned reinforcer. B. Conditioned generalized reinforcer. C. Discriminative stimulus only. Or D. Motivating operation only. Pause here and decide. The correct answer is B. A conditioned generalized reinforcer. The token acquired value through its pairing with backup reinforcers, so it is conditioned. It can be exchanged for multiple backup reinforcers, so it is generalized. Exchangeability is not just stimulus control. The learning history makes it conditioned, and the range of backup items makes it generalized. Question 6. After soccer practice, water is more valuable to Luis, and he is more likely to request water. The sight of a working water fountain signals that requesting may produce water. Which pairing is correct? A. The post-practice condition is an EO, and the working fountain is an SD. B. The post-practice condition is an SD, and the working fountain is an SD. C. Both are EOs. Or D. Both are SDs. Pause here before the reveal. The correct answer is A. After soccer practice, water is more valuable. That value-altering effect makes the post-practice condition an establishing operation, or EO. The working fountain signals that requesting can produce water, so it is an SD. Both events may evoke requesting, but for different reasons. An MO changes value. An SD signals differential availability. Question 7. A teacher delivers a point after an unpredictable number of correct math problems, averaging 5 correct problems per point. Which schedule is in effect? A. FR5. B. VR5. C. FI 5 minutes. Or D. VI 5 minutes. Pause and choose. The correct answer is B. VR5. Reinforcement depends on the number of correct responses, so this is a ratio schedule. The requirement is unpredictable and averages 5 responses, so it is variable ratio 5. An average of 5 does not make the schedule fixed. Fixed versus variable is about predictability, not the number alone. Question 8. During a red card, completing 3 tasks produces a token. During a blue card, the first correct response after an average of 2 minutes produces a token. The cards alternate across sessions and clearly signal which contingency is active. What schedule arrangement is this? A. Concurrent schedule. B. Multiple schedule. C. Mixed schedule. Or D. Chained schedule. Pause here and make your choice. The correct answer is B. A multiple schedule. 2 schedules alternate, and the red and blue cards clearly signal which component is in effect. That correlated stimulus is the deciding clue. More than one schedule does not automatically mean mixed. A mixed schedule has multiple components without clearly correlated observable signals. Question 9. When a learner uses a break card, staff provide a brief break. When the learner drops to the floor, staff do not provide a break and continue the demand with prompting. Which intervention description is most accurate? A. DRA with escape extinction. B. DRI with response cost. C. DRO with timeout. Or D. NCR with positive punishment. Pause here before the answer. The correct answer is A. DRA with escape extinction. The break card response earns access to a break, so an alternative response is reinforced. Dropping to the floor no longer produces escape, so the maintaining escape contingency is discontinued. Do not automatically call this DRI. DRI requires the alternative and problem behavior to be physically incompatible at the same time. Question 10. A timer is set for 2 minutes. If no calling out occurs for the entire 2-minute interval, the student earns a point. If calling out occurs, the timer is reset immediately. What procedure is described? A. Whole interval DRO. B. Momentary DRO. C. DRL. Or D. Fixed time reinforcement. Pause and answer before the reveal. The correct answer is A. Whole interval DRO. Reinforcement requires the absence of calling out for the full 2-minute interval, and a response resets the timer. A timer alone does not make something fixed time reinforcement. Momentary DRO only checks at a specific moment, usually at the end of the interval. Fixed time reinforcement is not contingent on the absence of the target behavior. Question 11. A learner currently asks repetitive questions about 12 times per hour. The goal is to allow access to adult attention if questions occur no more than 3 times during the hour. Which differential reinforcement procedure fits best? A. DRL. B. DRH. C. DRA. Or D. DRO. Pause here and select the best answer. The correct answer is A. DRL. The goal is to reduce, but not eliminate, the same response by reinforcing a lower rate of that response. That is differential reinforcement of low rates. Adult attention may sound like DRA, but the criterion is based on the rate of the same behavior. DRH would reinforce a higher rate, which would move in the wrong direction. Question 12. To reduce attention maintained calling out, staff deliver brief attention every 2 minutes, regardless of whether calling out occurs. The timing is not reset by behavior. What is this arrangement? A. Fixed time attention NCR. B. DRO. C. Response cost. Or D. Escape extinction. Pause here before the reveal. The correct answer is A. Fixed time attention, commonly described as NCR. Attention is delivered every 2 minutes, regardless of calling out, and the clock is not reset. The response-independent delivery is the key feature. Do not choose DRO, because DRO requires the target behavior to be absent during the defined interval or at the defined observation point. Question 13. In a token economy, a learner earns 1 token for each completed trial. Tokens can be exchanged for 10 minutes of tablet time at the end of the session. After tablet time loses value, task completion drops even though tokens are still delivered. What is the best next analytic step? A. Assume tokens remain effective because they are conditioned reinforcers. B. Reassess the value and availability of the backup reinforcer and adjust the system based on data. C. Immediately add response cost for non-completion. Or D. Call the tablet an SD and leave the exchange unchanged. Pause and choose. The correct answer is B. Token effectiveness depends on the value and availability of the backup reinforcer, as well as the exchange relation. If tablet time loses value and task completion falls, reassess those variables and adjust based on data. Calling tokens conditioned reinforcers does not make their function permanent. Current motivating operations still matter. Question 14. A functional communication response is initially reinforced with a 30-second break after every appropriate request. Once the response is stable, the BCBA gradually requires more completed work before a break is available, while monitoring communication, problem behavior, and treatment integrity. What procedure is primarily illustrated? A. Schedule thinning. B. Response cost. C. Whole interval DRO. Or D. Overcorrection. Pause here and commit to an answer. The correct answer is A. Schedule thinning. The response initially contacts dense reinforcement, then the work requirement gradually increases before a break is available. The defining feature is a gradual reduction in reinforcement density while monitoring outcomes and implementation. Requiring more work does not automatically mean punishment. The relation is being thinned for the alternative response. Question 15. After unsafe climbing, staff require the learner to complete a brief, effortful safety practice sequence. Unsafe climbing decreases across comparable opportunities. What is the best functional classification of the safety practice sequence? A. positive punishment, B, negative punishment, C, positive reinforcement, or D, escape extinction? Pause here before the answer. The correct answer is A, positive punishment. An effortful practice sequence is added after unsafe climbing, and unsafe climbing decreases over future comparable opportunities. That is positive punishment. The fact that the sequence has a safety or teaching purpose does not determine its function. Without evidence of a decrease in climbing, it could not yet be classified as punishment. Question 16. A student loses 5 earned tokens immediately after aggression. Across similar instructional periods, aggression decreases. Which label is most accurate? A, response cost, a form of negative punishment. B, timeout from positive reinforcement. C, negative reinforcement. Or D, extinction. Pause here and choose. The correct answer is A, response cost, which is a form of negative punishment. Earned tokens are removed after aggression, and aggression decreases. Response cost is not extinction. Extinction means discontinuing the consequence that previously maintained the behavior. Response cost removes an additional stimulus after the response. Question 17. Peer interaction has been shown to reinforce a student's aggression. Following aggression, the student sits in a neutral area for 2 minutes with no peer interaction, and aggression decreases. Which description is most accurate? A, timeout from positive reinforcement and negative punishment. B, automatic negative reinforcement. C, attention extinction only. Or D, a fixed time schedule. Pause and decide. The correct answer is A. Aggression results in temporary removal from an environment where peer interaction is a known reinforcer, and aggression decreases. That is timeout from positive reinforcement, which functions as negative punishment. Sitting in a neutral area is not enough by itself. The learner must be removed from an environment that is actually reinforcing. Question 18. Which pairing is classified correctly? First, completing a work task removes a difficult worksheet and task completion increases. Second, cheating removes access to a phone and cheating decreases. A, the first is negative reinforcement and the second is negative punishment. B, the first is negative punishment and the second is negative reinforcement. C, the first is positive reinforcement and the second is extinction. Or D, the first is escape extinction and the second is response-independent punishment. Pause here and choose. The correct answer is A. In the first situation, task completion increases after the worksheet is removed, so it is negative reinforcement. In the second, cheating decreases after phone access is removed, so it is negative punishment. Negative means removal in both cases. The future direction of the target response distinguishes reinforcement from punishment. Question 19. A team asks to add a more severe consequence because shouting has persisted despite an inconsistent plan. Assessment suggests shouting is maintained by escape from difficult tasks. Which recommendation is best supported by the intervention principles in this deck? A, increase the severity of the consequence immediately. B, reassess procedural integrity and implement a function-based plan that teaches and reinforces an appropriate escape or assistance response. C, use punishment before considering alternatives because the behavior is disruptive. Or D, ignore assessment results and focus only on reducing shouting. Pause here and make your choice. The correct answer is B. The existing plan is inconsistent and assessment indicates an escape function. First, reassess procedural integrity. Then implement a function-based plan that teaches and reinforces an appropriate escape or assistance response. Persistence does not automatically justify a more severe consequence. The stem is pointing you toward integrity and function first. Question 20. After a response cost procedure begins, aggression decreases, but crying, task refusal, and attempts to leave the area increase. Staff also apply the response cost inconsistently. What is the best next step? A, Keep the plan unchanged because aggression decreased. B. Evaluate emotional or elicited effects and procedural integrity, then make data-based modifications. C. Increase the token loss until crying stops. Or D. Stop collecting data because the target behavior is lower. Pause here and choose. The correct answer is B. Aggression decreased, but other concerning responses increased, and implementation is inconsistent. Evaluate the elicited or emotional effects, assess procedural integrity, and modify based on data. A decrease in one target behavior does not establish that an intervention is safe, acceptable, or effective overall. Measure more than one response class. Question 21. A bell has previously been paired with food and now evokes salivation. The bell is presented repeatedly without food and salivation declines. Which process is illustrated? A. Respondent extinction. B. Operant extinction. C. Negative punishment. Or D. Differential reinforcement. Pause and select the best answer. The correct answer is A. Respondent extinction. The bell was previously paired with food, and then it is presented repeatedly without food. The conditioned salivation response declines. Identify the relation before you choose the label. This is a stimulus-stimulus relation, not a response-consequence relation, so it is respondent rather than operant extinction. Question 22. A child's calling out has been shown to produce adult attention. During intervention, adults no longer provide attention following calling out, while they provide attention for hand raising. Calling out initially increases. What is the best description? A. Attention extinction combined with DRA. B. Negative punishment only. C. Fixed time attention. Or D. Response cost. Pause here before the reveal. The correct answer is A. Attention extinction combined with DRA. Calling out no longer produces the attention that maintained it, while hand raising earns attention. The initial increase may be consistent with an extinction burst, but the core procedure is still attention extinction plus reinforcement of an alternative response. Withholding attention is not automatically negative punishment when it discontinues the previously maintaining consequence. Question 23. A learner's headbanging reliably delays difficult demands. Staff begin a plan in which demands continue with graduated prompting after headbanging, while an appropriate break request produces a brief break. What is the core extinction component? A. Escape extinction for headbanging. B. Positive punishment for headbanging. C. Automatic reinforcement. Or D. Response cost. Pause here and choose. The correct answer is A. Escape extinction for headbanging. Headbanging no longer delays the demand, so the escape consequence that maintained it has been discontinued. At the same time, an appropriate break request earns a break, which adds DRA to the plan. Continuing demands is not automatically positive punishment. Ask whether the previously effective escape outcome is no longer available following the problem behavior. Question 24. On the first day that attention is withheld for shouting, shouting becomes louder, lasts longer, and includes new topographies. The plan is otherwise implemented as written. What is the most accurate interpretation and response? A. This may be an extinction burst. Maintain safety and monitoring while evaluating the plan with data. B. The behavior is being reinforced, so add a stronger punisher immediately. C. This proves extinction cannot be used. Or D. Ignore the change because it is expected. Pause here before the answer. The correct answer is A. Louder, longer, and more varied responding when extinction begins may be an extinction burst. Maintain safety, monitor integrity, and evaluate the plan with data. Avoid both extremes. Do not treat an immediate increase as proof of failure, and do not ignore risk simply because a burst can occur. Expected does not mean harmless. Question 25. Yelling was reduced through extinction in the clinic, which is context B. When the learner returns to the home setting where yelling had historically produced escape, which is context A, Yelling reappears even though the clinic procedures had been effective. Which relapse pattern is best illustrated? A. Renewal. B. Resurgence. C. Spontaneous recovery. Or D. Behavioral contrast. Pause here and select your answer. The correct answer is A. Renewal. Yelling returns when the learner moves from the extinction context back to a context where the behavior was historically reinforced. The key clue is the context change. Resurgence occurs when a previously reduced behavior returns after reinforcement for an alternative response is disrupted. Spontaneous recovery emphasizes the passage of time. Here, the context change is doing the diagnostic work. All scenarios in this video are original practice and are not official BACB items or recalled exam content. You can visit our website bcbamockexam.com to get full BCBA mock exam and practice more. When you face a tricky contingency question, return to the same sequence. Identify the target response, identify what was added or removed, check whether future behavior changed, and verify the functional relation before naming the label.